Good day, everybody. This is Robert Jordan with Market Protocol. It's our engineering weekly call. I believe we're on week 31 if I can find my open browser tab. As you know, I might have multiple ones. Yes, week 31. And guess what today is? Guess what? It's IPA Day. So in honor of IPA Day, I've got a couple here, some of which that I really do like. This is a Nisaki Brewing Company, a Tricera Hops Double IPA. For those of you that like the hoppiness and the ABV value and content. And one of my longtime favorites, it's a Sierra Nevada, the Torpedo, the Extra IPA. I don't know if you guys ever had that, but again, another solid choice. I hope you guys get out to your favorite watering hole, your bar, restaurant, or even at home, and crack open a nice beverage and celebrate this day, this grand day today. It's almost as special as Superman Day to me. So let's do a round of introductions and start the call. So Lazar, let's start with you.
Sure. Everyone, my name is Lazar, and I'm a community manager for Market Protocol. I have joined the team in early this year, I would say in January, and I've been following the progress of the development team so far. And I'm very enthusiastic that we should all have an opportunity to see another demo for everyone else that haven't attended these calls before or haven't seen our demos previously. Please check out our YouTube channel for all previous Engineering Weekly videos, demos, and explainers. And since it's a beer day, I don't have an IPA, since I don't drink as much. But, a Corona will, surely, be a participant of the call, too. Although I'm not going to drink it, of course. It's too early.
It's never too early for beer.
I don't know. The two of those you showed, it's always too early for those two.
Yeah, they have a little bit of a kick to them. Thanks, Lazar. Thanks for the editorial as well. That's really helpful. Also, folks that are core contributors, just give us a little bit of background on what you work on would be helpful. And the community folks, if you have contributed to the project, that's great. You can share a little bit about that. And if you haven't, that's okay too. Tell us of your interest of Market Protocol, and thanks for joining us. So let's move on to Stephen. Hey, Stephen, how you doing?
Hey, good day, everyone. So yeah, I'm Stephen. I've been contributing around the Combase for a little while, picking up issues here and there. Right now, I'm working on tests, so nothing really interesting to share there.
Well, we really appreciate your contribution, Stephen. It's great to see you on the call. Thanks for your time and your help.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Travis.
Hey, my name is Travis. I'm on the core team. I have been working this week on some bug fixes as well as upgrading the dApp to the latest version of React. And then I also, later in the week, have been working on, with Dan, to set up a service listener to listen to some events on the Ethereum blockchain for our contracts so that we can have better user experience within the dApp. That has been interesting and fun, and we're learning a lot about limitations of Web3. And we did have some issues running into Infura and listening to events on older versions of Web3. So for anyone out there that runs into this, you do need to be using Web 3.1, 1.0, at least the latest beta, to work with Infura and events. So that was an experience. Or you can run your own Geth node if you still want to use 0.20.6 until we're out of beta. We also learned that as well. So we went through that process yesterday and got that set up. And that's pretty much what I've been working on. I think Dan and I are going to wrap that up today, hopefully, if all goes to plan. And then I should be back on fill order UI stuff and working on completing actually filling orders, as there was some blockers in regards to upgrades of the dApp and market.js that we're waiting on. So
Great, Travis. Thanks very much. Yeah, that the service listener has been an interesting project. And speaking of service listener, there's Dan. Dan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm working on the service listener and everything Travis just talked about. And I'm not a full-time core team member, but I'm doing some part-time work for the time being, and happy to be here.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for your contribution. See, Dano, how about a quick introduction?
I was on last week's call, so.
You were on last week's call.
Yeah.
You're regular now.
Yeah, I guess that makes me regular. Yeah, I'm just, looking at kicking the tires, looking to see what is there. So, yeah, not much to say right now.
Cool. All right. Thanks for coming in, and we appreciate you being here. Patrick.
Hey guys, I'm Patrick Charles. I'm an advisor and on the dev core team. Sometime technical contributor. I worked on some of the infrastructure and SEO earlier in the project.
Thanks, Patrick. Thanks for being here. Eswar.
Yeah. Hey, hi everyone. This is Ishwar. So I'm on the core team. Currently, I'm working on few of the blockers which are blocking Travis right now. Basically, before leaving on vacation, Phil did some major upgrades to Market.js and Market Protocol. So I'm trying to integrate them in dApp and ensure that everything works seamlessly. So yeah.
Thanks, Eswar. Hey, Nitin, how about an introduction?
Hey guys, I am Nitin. I am a product designer and a developer over here at Market. I joined full-time a couple of weeks ago. And currently I've been working on the UI for the SIM exchange on the dApp. So yeah, that's pretty much I'm working on. And I also worked on modifying the UI a bit for the test query page section of the dApp.
And I think that is the demo today, to walk through the UI with the test query. Is that correct?
Yes, I can walk through the UI with the test queries. There's not much of change though, and I can also demo the ongoing UI for the SIM exchange. That'll be pretty interesting, I guess. Get some feedback and stuff.
Great, thank you. Spartan, how about a quick introduction?
Yeah, it's Casper here from Spartan Group. I've been on a couple of calls, but missed the last few ones. We're an advisor to Market Protocol, so we work primarily with Seth, Phil, and Collins, and also with Lazar on fundraising, on community, on business development, deal structuring, everything to make sure that we have the particularly financial resources required to make Market Protocol happen. And we're also an investor in the project.
Awesome, welcome back. Yeah, I recognized the name, and then now I connected the dots. So how you doing?
Yeah,
good to see you.
Good,
Good
thanks.
to see you too, Casper. I'm glad you're here, man.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
All right, well, thanks everybody. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen here and clear some stats with you. You don't want to see my Market Protocol Discord. Can everybody see the agenda? Is that sharing?
Yep. Yep.
Great. Okay. As far as contributors this week, building a little bit of a trend here. All of the major repos that we work on. We had an interesting discussion yesterday on the value of the number of commits and what that actually means in GitHub. And so I thought that was interesting simply because of the way each of the projects works. It might not be reflective of the actual activity. There are some relative measures as it relates to the number of commits. And hopefully we can work this out. If you guys have any suggestions on what are the best metrics to show for activity level of a project, I think that would be helpful. Again, it's just a data point at this point. I'd like to figure out what makes a lot more sense in the way of showcasing not only how active the project is, but also showcasing the contributors to the project. So week 31, again, the major repos, Market Protocol, which is our smart contract solidity base, our dApp, which is the ability to be able to take and work with our smart contracts and the blockchain to simulate the trading of a market contract and working with the protocol. Obviously, our external website, Market.js, which is really becoming the foundation of providing the services and capabilities in an API, being TypeScript/JavaScript out for partners and even individuals to work with if they want to. And there are types directories simply because of the dependency on TypeScript. Any questions there? Notable commits this week. Thanks again for the community to help us out in a variety of areas and different projects. We also like to use Gitcoin, and we try to post as many bounties as possible. Some from new contributors all the way through to some pretty complex and advanced stuff that really helps the team out and moving the projects forward. So if you don't have that link to Gitcoin, it's just gitcoin.co. If someone would type that into, let's see here, I'm looking for the messaging, but I can't see it. But if someone typed that in, that would be awesome. I'll also put a link into the agenda for future reference for people that are on the call. And then weekly releases. We've been iterating through Market.js again pretty quickly. Again, it's a showpiece of our project, what we're doing here as an organization and a protocol. And this is actually good because the next section on the heads up, there was a major refactor right before Phil departed last week. And so there's been a lot of cleanup right now and making sure that Market.js is stable and working with the projects, namely the dApp, but also the Market API. And I think Eswar, you've been working on that. How is that going? And is there anything that people on this call should be aware of?
Sorry, Robert, can you just repeat the last part?
Is there anything as far as the Market.js refactor that people need to be aware of? Because I think that 0.2.1 we had some issues with it, and or was that something in the dApp?
Yeah, so it's actually in the market.js only right now. That's a different issue altogether. Like it's related to build that I'm facing right now. But yeah, in general, so the major upgrade that happened with market.js 0.2 is that, so earlier we were using basically passing all the ABI addresses, for example, like collateral pool address, or a class contract address, etc. So right now the refactor that Phil had done was to you just need to pass the market contract address, and we'll take care of it behind the like function methods, like where we keep track of all the collateral pool addresses, etc., that are required for the contracts. So like for the end users who are integrating in their applications, it's just like one address that they need to keep track of instead of worrying about all the other addresses. So that's the major refactor that has happened.
Any questions for those of you on the call? I know it's if you're working on a fork, on your own fork, to rebase onto the upstream would be really helpful, because there's a lot of newness, a lot of syntactical sugar there that's really helpful. So just make sure you're aware of that. And anyone that's not on the call that might be viewing this afterwards. Thanks, Eswar. Nitin, I'm going to turn it over to you if you're ready.
Yeah, okay. So what demo should we kind of do? Should we do the test query minor UI change demo?
Yeah,
or
let's
the exchange, or the exchange UI, the ongoing exchange UI?
Yeah, let's do both, and then
Okay.
how about the test query first?
Okay.
And then just if you would pause say your name, what you're going to demo, and then launch into your demo.
Okay. Cool. Just give me 1 sec. All right. Hey guys, I'm Nitin, and today I am going to demo a minor UI modification which we kind of did this week with respect to test query flow. So we have a testing of Oracle queries functionality in our dApp, so which basically helps you to test an Oracle whether to get what kind of data, is it actually getting data or something like that. And so it's just a UI bump this week, nothing fancy. And basically it's again like a 4-step process of testing an Oracle query. And at first we just want to explain what kind of, what is an Oracle and what Oracle are we using to do. So right now we're using oracleize.it, which kind of pulls in all the data and you can use that. And yeah, so let's get started. I'll just like select the data source, and so basically it's just a simple explanation. You can read through what exactly this means and what exactly a data source means and stuff. So we have a bunch of other data source as well. We have data source from Wolfram Alpha and any computation data source which you can do. So just select URL over there, and then we ask you to enter a test query basically in order to test it. So here's some of a bunch of example which we have right now. I'll just go ahead and copy this and try pasting over here. And yeah, so again, we have our gas settings. So for each Oracle query testing, we will be needing gas to deploy it. So I'll just quickly do this. And it says invalid address. Let's see what's going on with it. Did I miss something? Oh, I think I haven't connected with MetaMask. Just give me 1 second.
The joys of live demos.
I know, right? Yes, let me put this. And yeah, I mean, it's, I think once it pops up, the MetaMask. And yeah, cool. I mean, so right now, the testing of query takes quite a bit of time, Robert. So I suggest us to kind of stop the kind of demo over here, and then basically I just tells you the result, what exactly the query does.
That's fine. And yeah,
Yes.
I'm not sure. I would think everybody in the call is familiar with this, but if not,
Yes.
yeah, the query itself is a pretty straightforward process. The concept of the Oracle is critical to the reference point, if you will, of any of the contracts that we're using and the creation of those contracts, because you have these pairs that you'll trade with, and sometimes some of those assets have nothing to do with blockchain, like Apple as a stock or even a commodity that might trade on a futures exchange. So utilizing Oracleize it initially and then adding other oracles to our system will help with the integrity of those trades, not only getting prices, but also with the settlement and expiration of the contracts that are out in the marketplace between two individuals. So extremely important part of what we do here. And thanks very much, Nitin, for that demo.
Yep.
Okay, how about moving on to the Explorer?
Yeah, the SIM exchange
SIM
UI,
exchange,
right?
sorry.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how exactly we can kind of demo. I'll just like go through the screens which we have. So that'll be kind of pretty interesting to look at, and we can probably after I run through the screens, we can have a Q&A or some discussion. Just 1 second.
That's fine.
Hey guys, I'm Nitin, and today I'm going to show you the design process, I guess, of how we kind of thinking to build our simulated exchange on our dApp. So I'll just quickly run through a bunch of screens over here, which we kind of iterate over and make it as perfect as possible and as user-friendly as possible. So let me just go and bring up the first initial sketch for any design or any UI on any piece of software. It starts with sketch, I assume. I mean, like a simple sketch, rough sketch, right? And this is what Phil, our CTO, has, like just had in mind of what exactly a simulated exchange is and what we kind of have to build over in our dApp. And me and Ori, who is not in the call right now, and we kind of converted that digitally so that it'll be easier to play around. And so basically, a simulated exchange is nothing but trading between bunch of contracts and like getting the collateral balance from. I mean, basically, you have a sum of collateral balance which you get from your wallet, and then put it into this sim exchange, and then you use that balance to trade across bunch of other contracts. So Robert, or any of you guys, feel free to add on explaining this. I think Travis would be the best person to kind of explain because he's currently working on this and implementing. And yeah, so basically once we have this kind of sketch, we kind of iterate over different, first thing is different color combination, and we were just exploring between bunch of UI color schemes, especially we have this dark theme around market protocol, right? So I just wanted to explore a bunch of variants as possible so that we'd get to know like what would be the ideal one. And we play around with the layouts and next step is we play around with the layouts, and we see which would be much relevant. And over here in these couple of screens, if you can notice, I was just playing around for any trade exchange. You see there would be a trade history column where trade history section where you have a bunch of buy and sell rows coming up. Basically, those are the actions which is happening real time, and you denote that action, whether it's a buy or a sell, by either specifying whether it's an operation, like specifically telling that it's a buy or it's a sell, or you can like mention that by denoting the specific colors over here, just like how we did over here. So this basically represents all the buy-ins, and this just represents all the sells. So we've just explored with different way of representing. In here we're representing with buy and sell. Over here, and we're representing with a small icon. So I'm not sure like which would go forward. Which would be useful or ideal. So would love to hear your feedback as well on this. And we also explore like different type of showing these rows because this would be kind of easier to consume data. So since there'll be a lot of moving data over here, and having differentiated colors over here would help, like pinpointing this row, etc., and stuff like that. And again, variation of colors are also being explored. So there's positive, which is buy, and there is negative, which is sell. And obviously, negative would be kind of, red would be the common color which everyone kind of chooses, right? So we just wanted to explore different color schemes as well. And that's been done here. And yeah, there's a bunch of explorations here and there. And another version of UI which I kind of tried is to have a full width of the elements occupying the entire page width. So over here, if you can see, we have a bit of margin over here. And over here, we have full width. And once going full width, we have a bunch of space left. So where we can use, implement certain trade charts and etc. and stuff over there. And one more thing I'm kind of confused or kind of debating over here is, right now we have certain action elements in our exchange. That is basically you can deposit and withdraw the wallet tokens, right? And you can also buy and place orders. So those are basically the action items or action columns, which you can call. So this over here, if you look at the screen, all the action item takes place on the right side of the screen. And there's another version of it where all the action item takes place on the left side of the screen. So it depends on each individual how they would like it. So I personally prefer having the action items on the right side, because you'll be scanning through the information from left to right and you stop at the right part, right, of the whatever you see. So that's where, I mean, most of the users' retention would be there. So placing the action items over there would kind of make sense. But again, it's kind of debatable. So I'm open for any suggestions over here and discussion over here. I know this is kind of UI oriented, nothing technical as such. Hope I'm not boring you guys. So I'll just stop it over here.
Thanks, Nitin. Excuse me. I think it's really good. One of the things I was going to suggest, and you just hit it as you went through your demo, is the charting capability, because I think the visual aspect of looking at data is I find that much more intuitive, and picture says 1,000 words. So
yeah,
I really like that middle part where there's a chart, and potentially underneath the label of trade charts there could be different tabs for different types of charts potentially.
True. Yeah.
And just for feedback, I like the wallet and the history over on the right-hand side.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if other people's opinions and comments. One other thing, and I'll stop and let other people make some comments, is that Market Protocol is not developing an exchange. We work with third-party distributed exchanges to enable them to be able to trade on the Market Protocol, using the Market Protocol in our smart contract platform. What we're doing is we're doing a simulated exchange to demonstrate the capability of what Market Protocol is and what it does, and the benefits to not only individuals, but also potentially companies and institutions. So hopefully that's helpful for everybody. And I'll open it up for other comments or questions.
Yeah. Any comments or feedback, you guys? I mean, feel free to.
I think I like the wallet on the right as well.
Me too.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
Because most of us, at least English speakers, are going to read left to right. And I think that the order book and that data is the most important information. Therefore, it's the first thing we're going to see versus the wallet, which will only be using part-time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's interesting feedback. Yes. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Lata. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty much from the development. I mean, design-wise, at least for the simulated exchange we have right now. So there's still a bunch of minute detail iteration which I'll be doing, and I shall keep you guys posted.
Hey, it's Casper. I have a question on the UI.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
What's the I use a lot of exchanges myself, but just off the top of my head, can't think about it. Are most of them left to right or right to left? Because obviously a lot of the users, depending on the exchange and so forth, are based in Asia, many of them China, Korea, Japan, kind of area.
Yeah, so I didn't get your question. Sorry about that.
My question is, other existing, similar UIs on primarily exchanges and DEXs, do they
Okay.
tend to be more left to right or right to left? Because,
Oh, well,
there's a
yeah,
good chance a lot of the users will be from Asia.
yes, yes. So I've kind of researched that as well. I mean, there's like a whole lot of mix over there. So for example, GDAX there's action items on the left side, and some other exchanges have on the bottom and right side. There's a good mix of both, I can say.
Got it. So it's consistently inconsistent.
Exactly, it's consistently.
Yeah, I'm on dApp right now as we speak, and like for instance, they as I can see, they do not have the wallet displayed on the trading floor at all. They have like markets on the left side, order books on the right side. The chart is of course in the middle. So like, I guess if they, I suppose they did their research, the designers and all of that. I think this looks pretty nice, But you're right, Casper. Definitely, if anybody sees any consistencies with traditional exchanges and the way they've built up their GUI, let our team know. We have a designers chat, which I'm pretty sure everybody on this call is aware of.
Yeah.
On our Discord, so please feel free to contribute there too.
Yeah, I will also kind of bring up a poll over there on the design channel in Discord, so you guys can feel free to continue over there as well, and let's see.
Something else I'd just like to mention is that a lot of the functionality that you see here in this design, even though it's not exposed in the dApp yet, is functioning. There's some stuff that's missing, some stuff we're still working on, but for instance, we can already deposit and withdraw collateral. So a lot of this functionality I've been working on, as well as Dan and Eswar has been working on, and it's there. We're just kind of waiting to finalize this part of it to bring it all together and expose it to the community. So it's pretty close.
Yep.
Right, Nitin. Hey, thanks very much for the demonstration, and thanks for all the comments and the feedback. Please feel free to continue the discussion on Discord, and let us know what you like and how everything's going. And I think that's also an important point that Travis made is that a lot of what we've been working on has been leading up. It's been plumbing related, if you will, and it's been leading up to enabling the simulated exchange. So we're really excited about it. But that leads well into what we're working on for next week. So first off, any questions about what we've seen so far? Anything on the call? All right, I'm going to share my screen again. And quickly, just looking at next week. And so last week I demonstrated the product planning functionality that we integrated into our process. It was a collective effort of the entire team. And so we're getting some data, which is great. And I love data. So data says a lot. And with data, you get charts, which I also like. So for next week, which is really this past week and continuing to move forward, we discussed a bit about our Market.js refactor, our continuous dApp Market.js integration, as well as the simulated exchange, the service listener functionality, and also Market API upgrades to support the order book and the contracts. And inside of the agenda, there's, as we explained last week, we're working on the concept of a release, which is simply just a time box. It's a 4-week time box, and we have a tremendous amount of functionality that we try to accomplish inside of that time box. So you can click on the August release detail under next week in the agenda, and you can see everything that we're trying to accomplish for August. The August release is somewhere around, I think, August 20th. It doesn't mean we do a big bang on that. It just simply means that that time box ends that period, and then along the way, we're releasing functionality to meet those milestones. And then the planning board is something that, if you're not familiar with, if you click on that, it brings you to a Zen Hub page. which will show you where we're at with our issues and this particular milestone. So the milestones are a week long. They're very much like a sprint or an iteration. And if you click there, you can see what's in progress, what's completed, what's in PR, and also what's in the backlog remaining for this particular milestone. And then if you take a look at some of the reports, I'm highlighting the August monthly release. You'll see that there's several scopes that are estimated in total scope. As you can imagine, projects as they move forward, scope does increase. It creeps a little bit, mainly because we're learning a lot and we realize that, oh, we forgot this, or a bug popped up that needed to be squashed. So given where we said we were going to be and where we're at today, we're tracking really well toward the August 20th timeframe. So that's really good. Any questions on this information? Okay. So with that, I'll leave you with a little bit of inspiration. Elon Musk at a talk recently and talked about living in a simulation. So it might be inspirational, it might not, but feel free to check that out and let me know what you think about it. Any other questions for myself or anyone on the call? All right, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy coding. And remember, break out your favorite IPA. This one's going to be mine for a few hours from now. And enjoy. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Robert. See ya.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.
Bye, everyone.